Hello everyone, it's Ethan McKinley. It's the 2-Minute Terminator, where we break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. I'm here with my co-host Ellie Fitzgerald, who keeps popping the mic.
Hello.
Hi, it's episode 53, Ellie, season 4. We are going from minutes 106 to 108, the 108-minute mark to the 2 minutes bridging to the 108-minute mark, or 106-minute mark to 108-minute mark. I'll get it right eventually. We're on Terminator Salvation. We're almost at the end. We've got about 5 shows left before we plough into season 5, Genesis. But yeah, we're back and we're ready to go. Are you ready to go, Ellie?
I'm ready. Hit the music.
Howdy, stranger.
Don't say howdy, stranger, to me.
You didn't do the fourth.
Thank God. It sucked. Yeah, it sucked.
Yes, we're back. Hi, I'm Ethan McKinley. As I said, across from me in Surrey is my co-host Ellie Fitzgerald.
Wow, that was really sorry.
In Surrey. Well, you went into London on Saturday night? Yeah. And
Yeah.
you got burned by the big city, so you should stay right where you are. Today's clip starts with Marcus Wright having his heart restarted with a car battery. We've all been there. And it ends with Christian Bale pressing the big red button, only reserved for presidents and dignitaries before starting a nuclear war. Today's bumper music, of course, is Robin Hood by Mark Streitenfeld. Mark Streitenfeld, of course, recently did, 4 years ago. What am I talking about? He did the soundtrack to Prometheus.
And he's dead.
And he's still alive and making music. So, Eleanor, let me just turn this up, because and turn old Robin down there. So
What's the bumper music?
I just said it's Robin Hood by Mark Streitenfeld, who did Prometheus.
Oh yes.
Although he's not doing Alien Covenant. He's not doing the soundtrack to that, which I think, I don't know.
Who is? Do we know?
Let's find out. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, welcome to the 2-Minute Terminator. Thought I'd just do a little bit of what you do. What are the bookends of this 2 minutes, Ethan?
Ellie, you've clearly not been listening, but I'll say what it is. I just said Marcus Wright has his heart started with a car battery, or a heart battery, and it ends with Christian Bale about to press the button, which will ultimately spell Skynet's demise.
Okay, yeah.
A privilege reserved, as I said, for presidents and dignitaries on the eve of a nuclear war.
And bullshit Bale.
Bullshit Bale.
Bullshit.
So yeah, I mean, we're wrapping up the end of the film now. It's mostly non-dialogue. It's all action. And
what action?
Well, I don't know. Here's my thing with it. We're in the middle of the clip, or just 2/3 of the way through. As the helicopter takes off in this clip, it's just taken off from some industrial estate, which is fine. But it's like, this is like, even still to this day, one of the most expensive films ever made, let alone the most expensive sequel.
I want to know what all the money went on.
I want to know what the money went on, because it was like $200 million, and I can't see it really anywhere. I don't know. I mean, a lot of it was shot on the salt flats by the look of it. There's some set work. They've shot stuff actually on location here for the Skynet factory, for an actual factory, to save money.
How expensive is CGI? Like the technology?
Very, but I was listening to Best Forgotten Movies, a great podcast, and they were talking about Star Trek V, The Undiscovered Country, which is the 5th film in that original cast film series, and William Shatner directed. Leonard Nimoy did 3 and 4, which got a lot of acclaim, especially 4 actually. And then I think Shatner, who's a rampant egotist, but we love him anyway, clearly wanted to direct another film. I think Shatner didn't really have the directorial experience at the time. It still really doesn't. He'd done a couple of TV episodes, whereas Leonard Nimoy had been directing films for quite some time by that point. One of which being... 1987, he had the biggest film of the year, which was 3 Men and a Baby. He directed that.
What the hell is that about?
Basically... 3 guys are seeing this chick who turns up pregnant one day, and she says this baby's like one of yours, and they basically have to look after it over a certain period of time while she's away. I can't remember it now.
God, that sounds terrible.
But they slowly fall in love with the baby. It's very much in that kind of mould of Pretty Woman. It's that late 80s, early 90s kind of like, kind of a romantic comedy, but like a fish out of water. It's like 3 like bachelor lifestyle men played by Tom Selleck. Steve Guttenberg, who was like very popular at the time, and now he just plays Captain Hook in Croydon Theatre in Panto. And Tom Selleck, who was one-time Indiana Jones, but obviously lost out to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford wasn't actually cast as Indiana Jones, Ellie. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Tom Selleck auditioned for it and got the part, and was signed off on it. And they did the same thing they kind of did to Pierce Brosnan in 1985. They wanted Pierce Brosnan to be Bond in 1985, and he basically signed on to do it. And as he was about to walk out of the press tent to talk to people to go, "I'm the new James Bond," and tell the world's press.
And they went, "No, you're not actually, mate. Sold."
Well, no, his contract was renewed for a TV show called Remington Steele.
Remington's. Okay, that sounds amazing.
It was like this action adventure spy show that Pierce was obviously the star of in the mid '80s, because there was a lot of buzz around him, because they wanted him to be Bond basically, because Pierce Brosnan was married to a lady called Cassandra Harris, who was a Bond girl in For Your Eyes Only. When he went to the premiere party for that, Cubby Broccoli saw him, your favourite, and they were like, "Oh, he looks like James Bond. Oh, and you're an actor." So they kind of like wanted him to be Bond for quite a long time. But as he was, as I said, about to tell the world's press and get on the plane or whatever, or walk out to the tent to speak to people to go, "I am Bond." Is it NBC or CBS? I think CBS renewed his contract and shot themselves in the foot because that prevented Pearson being James Bond. And it kind of ruined his chances, basically. It would have been interesting to see what a Pierce Brosnan Bond would have been in 1985, because he was the worst Bond, really.
He was so bad.
He couldn't really decide if he wanted to be Roger Moore or Sean Connery.
Yeah, I was going to say, what kind of Bond do you think he was trying to portray?
I don't know, because, I mean, they either go one or two ways. They either go to the campy route, or they go, like, we're going to get back to basics. We're going to do the Ian Fleming's Bond, which I think maybe... I guess Sean Connery and Daniel Craig are the only ones that have come close to it. But Pierce Brosnan couldn't decide if he wanted to be corny or a tough guy, and he doesn't look.
And he's neither.
Yeah, he doesn't look like
guy.
a guy that will get the job. He's more of like a catalogue model version of James Bond. If you saw a man advertising a watch as a James Bond product, you go, "Yeah, he looks all right," but I wouldn't actually have him as James Bond in a film. But anyway, by the same token, Tom Selleck, of course, played Magnum PI, and as he was about to as he signed off. Or was about to sign and got the part for Indiana Jones, they renewed his contract for Magnum.
Do you reckon they did that on purpose?
I don't know, because it seems silly because it shoots both parties in the foot. They then lose their actor, instead of just postponing the series. So he'd obviously do Indiana Jones, become a world famous star, and have one more season on his Magnum contract, which will like send, I guess, ratings through the roof.
Yeah.
It would behoove them to let him do the film, but they didn't. But the same thing happened to Pierce Brosnan. So same thing, really.
Dude, you know a lot about James Bond.
I just know a lot about films in a non-douchey and Shoreditchy type of way.
Yes, I completely agree. Anyway, back to Terminator.
Well, as I said, I was going to say to you, we originally started with William Shatner. I think the big thing about Star Trek: The Final Frontier, which was meant to be the final Star Trek film. I think because Shatner didn't have much experience, he actually had a bigger budget than they had for Star Trek 4, the one with the whales that we saw, which Leonard Nimoy directed. But I think if you're an inexperienced director and you just go, "Oh, just give me that, that'll do," because you don't know how to spend.
That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Yeah, because you don't know how to spend and put the money on the screen where it looks like it's going to look impressive and epic. I think the same thing is perhaps happened here. The money's been misappropriated, and they've kind of like they've spent loads of money, and it just isn't there on the screen. I mean, I would have wanted to see like armies and armies and seas of T-600s and stuff walking through the desert.
Basically, like the opening battle in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Terminators. Can you imagine how amazing that would have been?
Because John Connor had that signal disruptor, I would have liked to have a scene where he was like trapped in the desert and there's just thousands upon thousands, armies of like T-600s, and he's like walking through them like zombies because they don't recognise him as a machine, as a human, sorry, because he's disrupting their signal, and he's doing this like very almost like the birds when she's walking across the lawn and the birds are there. Yeah, like.
Dude, like honestly, I know you disagree with me, but sometimes your ideas of film, like you should have fucking directed films.
I should have done a lot of things, Ellie, but I didn't have a very good start in life. You know that. That noise happening, listeners, is when someone messages
apologise,
Ellie.
my phone just rang.
Yeah, and it cuts off the Viber. But Ellie's hopefully
really
ignored
sorry.
that. Oh, and she's back. And to go back to Alien Covenant, Ellie, Harry Gregson Williams is doing the music for it. So it's not Mark Streitenfeld. It would have been nice to keep a through line with the music, but I guess not. Anyway.
Hello?
Oh, she's gone again. Yes, hello.
Oh no, I can hear you now. Your internet, dude, is terrible. It
No.
keeps, dropping in and out.
Your internet is terrible, Ellie. My internet's fine.
So why do you keep complaining about your internet?
I haven't. It's been great the last few days.
Bullshit.
Anyway,
well,
all 4 Terminator films, Ellie, they have had their climactic battle scenes take place in industrial settings. In the Terminator in 1984, saw Kyle and Sarah face the skinless Terminator T-800 in an automated factory, which of course was the original Cyberdyne systems. In Terminator 2, they had the T-800 faces off with the T-1000 in a steel mill or foundry. In Terminator 3, Ellie,
I'm listening.
yeah, it placed John and Kate and the T-850, that's the improved T-800 that Arnold played in 3, at a cyber research systems where John and Kate escaped the TX. Now, I wouldn't say that's really the finale of the film, because that's kind of like 2/3 in. They actually go to an army base for the end, but what do I know?
Yeah. A lot.
So they escape the TX in that one, in the particle accelerator room. Is that an industrial setting? That's more of a scientific setting. What do I know? Terminator Salvation, of course, takes place in the first T-800 Skynet factory, basically.
Okay.
So yeah, all 4 films end in an industrial setting. Now let's spin our minds forward. Is Genesis an industrial setting ending?
No, I don't think I remember that.
Well, it kind of is. It's in the super high tech factory that's making the T-1000. So it's kind of a flip. Or you know what? There's a lot of repeat in this series.
There's a lot of what?
A repeat.
Oh right. Oh god, dude! All the time we've been discussing this throughout all of the films.
No, but the climactic battle of this film results in John Connor getting speared and killed. But it's in a T-1000 factory. This is a T-800 factory.
Yeah.
Arnold buys the farm in the... Yeah, but... Arnold gets killed by the...
Kill
T...
what?
What do you call John Connor now? The John Connor Terminator. The T-something. The T-nanobot skeleton man. Whatever. Anyway, the T-nanobot skeleton man kills Arnold... And he gets regenerated or renewed by the T-1000 liquid. By the same token, John gets renewed, spoilers, by getting Marcus Wright's heart. So each, I guess, saviour character in this gets kind of resurrected by the thing he's meant to be fighting.
Again, which kind of draws back into the whole biblical...
Well, JC, John Connor, Jesus Christ.
That's what I mean. Yeah. There's obviously a lot of kind of throws to... Oh, this is quite religious like.
James Bond, Jason Bourne, Jack Bauer, all the secret agents have JB as their initials.
Oh wow, shit the bed.
Apart from In Like Flynn.
In Like Flynn.
And Harry Palmer, the Michael Caine series of gritty spy movies from the 60s and 70s. Right.
Are you ready to talk about Terminator now? Like the actual 2 minutes that we're watching?
Yeah, well, we just did. We're talking about the factory setting.
They just kind of talked at us for 10 minutes.
Well, I will say this: when Christian Bale gets staked through the heart, I think the last thing you should probably do
Shut to the heart.
Is pull the stake out of his heart to kill the other Terminator.
Thank you. That's one of my notes. I was just if you actually did, they always say that if someone gets
stabbed or impaled,
shacked,
leave it in.
Always leave it in, because if you pull it out, you could be pulling entrails out with it. It can make the blood flow.
It's like a raggedy girder. It's not like a smooth thing. Well, even more than that, you just the empty space. Then the cavity will collapse on itself, and all the blood will just start pouring out of the hole. I guess they'd coagulate your blood in some way if you were taking some medical facility, and they kind of halt the bleeding in the area.
Did you know that's why arrowheads are shaped that way?
Oh yeah, because you can't pull them out. It's barbed, isn't it?
Well, the idea
Like a
was
cat's
is that
penis.
originally people would, they'd just pull it out, but as you did pull it out, obviously you just pulled everything else out with it, and then you'd die a lot quicker.
It's barbed like a cat's penis.
Ew! I thought, no, it's not cats, it's foxes.
Well, in Rambo 3, he gets spiked. He gets shot with an arrow, or is it a piece of shrapnel? But it goes through his body. He pushes it out the other side. He pours, what a boss, listen to this. He pours gunpowder out of a bullet into the hole and sets fire to it, sealing the wound.
You know.
And the flames shoot out the front of the back and the front of and the back of Stallone.
Oh my god. Wow, I definitely need to revisit that movie. Do you not think that the opening of this 2 minutes, though, is massive overacting? And it's almost like a scene out of an Ace Ventura film.
Come on!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Jim Carrey again, do you not think?
Yeah. This is my thing
like-
with Bale, though. I think his acting's kind of very...
Shit.
It's very showy. Like I said, it's like you can see
Really over the
you can
top.
see his performance, and I think good acting. I think because everyone equates acting to either be screaming at someone or crying.
No,
And
it's
if you
meant to be
do-
natural.
If you do one of those two things, people go, "Oh, he's good," but it's just like not really. He's just kind of lost control. He's trying. He's like, well,
It's
he's
like,
he's
I found-
telegraphing, demonstrating. They call it at drama school. I've told you this a million times. We do an advert audition.
Yeah.
For like, oh, it's a hot day. People start going, whew, and like wiping their forehead and going, ooh, ooh, and like fanning their face and stuff. It's like you
Yeah.
wouldn't really do that. I do that in real life, but most people
I
wouldn't
was
do that
gonna
in real
say,
life.
Ethan, that just sounds like you.
And it comes across as like over the top and corny. And by the same token, I think Bale's performances shine. I kind of like past him in a sense sometimes. He's like his performance is a bit too big for film. I think sometimes.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's why the only film I've ever really liked him in was Psycho, and that's because he basically plays himself. I think, anyway.
Well, he wasn't. I think he's hit that like Pacino thing, like after Scent of a Woman and like Heat when he became hooah,
I love the voice. Ooh, yeah.
hooah, the voice.
In other words, after Cruising.
No, but
The
like
most amazing Al Pacino film
Christian
ever.
Bale was like in Velvet Goldmine, and he's been in various other things. He was in American Psycho. That's what kind of like.
Shit, he was in Velvet Goldmine. I completely forgot that.
But like his performance is a bit more subdued and I think real. Then I know this is, I guess, a comic book sci-fi movie of sorts, but even so, I just think he always kind of like goes too nuts on screen. And I think there's been a few things like The Machinist and stuff which have like made him go, "Oh, he's like De Niro. He really commits and stuff." But I think he's one of those people that perhaps isn't that good, or he's I take that back. He's just hit a groove now where he kind of is like Christian Bale and everything.
Yeah.
The same way Tom Hardy now is.
I was literally about to say Tom Hardy. They just become.
Was good in
trapped in
loads
that
of things.
same path.
There's a thing called Stewart, I think, in real life. He plays a homeless person. That's amazing. And then he does Bronson. Everyone goes crazy for that performance. And then he does kind of every performance he does since then is like shades of Bronson.
I loved him as Bronson, though. I thought he played it so well.
But that's what I mean. Everyone said that, and he's gone, huh? So maybe they want me to be like that in all films.
No, that's not what acting is.
Yeah.
I always thought the sign of a good actor was you could play any part.
And I also think he's got a bit of that Kubrick thing. I said that to Kat Wood
Stanley.
in today's podcast, which I interviewed the writer-director of Home, starring Maggie Gyllenhaal, and produced by Kevin Spacey, a film called Home by Kat Wood, the director of that. I said that, why don't you just start acting difficult on set? Because, like, if you're lucky, people just think you're a genius and not fuck with you anymore. If you act a bit of a dick, people either write you off or they go, there must be something going on in that amazing head of theirs for them to act this
Yeah.
way. Because
Oh my god, he's a genius!
yeah,
Kind of what Kanye West tries to play up, but he just comes across as an absolute tool.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Anyway,
But back to your hole in the chest thing. Like, how is he walking? Like,
again, I'm amazed that he's not just bleeding out, or the fact he's passed out.
it's gone right through. If it's not hit his heart, it must have. Well, it's not hit his heart 'cause he's still alive. It must have gone past it, but he'd be puncturing a lung.
Yeah, massively.
He'd be done.
Also, I do have a
He'd be
question.
done.
So it's a just like me, basically. When I thought it was actually quite a classic scene. I've probably seen it in God knows how many films, and if you ask me, I won't be able to actually give you any because you'll put me on the spot. How many films have you seen it where someone's in like the foreground of the picture, and then all of a sudden from behind they get stabbed, and the thing comes through, and all you see is them go. Ugh. That's quite a classic shot.
Name a film that's in.
Oh God! Why'd you do this to me?
Aliens, Lance Henriksen.
When you think people are going to get... Oh, yeah. Aliens.
And there's one more which should just... Oh, God, I even saw it the other day. Not Aliens, something else.
But you know what I mean, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's like a classic...
You think, oh, they're going to be okay, and then they just get stabbed from behind. You see the thing just come
Yeah, they
out
save the person, and then they get, like, sacrificed, which justifies that person. It then justifies justifies the person they just saved to kill the monster. So you're like, well, you know, he had a reason to.
Oh, well.
It's like in like Lethal Weapon when Mel Gibson beats Gary Busey on the lawn.
Yeah.
But because all like bad guys have to die, he grabs the policeman's gun that's like putting cuffs on him and then aims the gun at Wiggs and Murtaugh, and then they shoot him, justifying them killing him.
Exactly.
And there's tons of that in films where they beat someone and go, I beat you, and then they do some like cheaty, nasty move and the back's turned.
Yeah.
And then they're allowed to kill them.
You cowardly bastard, being stabbed in the back. Yeah. So when that happens, Marcus, he, in like record timing, grabs hold of the pole, and it looks like he breaks it off inside John Connor. Is that what happens?
He stuck it in and broke it off. Sounds like a prison rape scene.
Dude, literally, one of my notes is, this is like gay porno moment. It's so... Well, I kind of wish it was. This whole end scene, I kind of feel this whole bromance thing, like, growing between Marcus and Bullshit Bale. I feel like Bullshit Bale's, like, held off for so long, and he wanted to hate him, but now he just can't deny the fact that he's...
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think he
really
does break it off. So he doesn't pull it out of Bale, he just breaks it off, but God...
I know! Again, that would have broken bones, that would have...
disrupted even more of his innards.
Your liver or your kidneys or whatever it's gone into. I mean, he'd be fucked. He'd be absolutely... He'd be dead. Bullshit Bale would be dead. But yeah, so that was my question. I mean, it looks like he does break it off inside him, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, what do you think of the effect when the T-800's breaking free from that kind of outer shell of like molten metal or whatever it is?
Oh, I think it's really good.
I thought that looked really cool.
Yeah. No, that was really cool. That was like a good, not original bit, because it involved liquid metal poured onto a Terminator.
But breaking free, though, we haven't actually seen that before.
Oh no, yeah, him trying to like crack himself free because he had to complete his mission. That's classic Terminator. That is.
Yeah. No, I thought that was good. I quite enjoyed that bit. Right, so I've covered that. Oh, so the next bit that confused me. So Marcus has broken his rod off in Bullshit Bale,
so hard.
And then it looks like he wraps it like behind, or he like puts it behind the T-800's head. And then all of a sudden he just twists it, and the T-800's head just rips off from its body.
No, he puts it under. Hang on, let me have a look.
I couldn't work out exactly what happened, because I was like, how the hell has he just ripped the head off?
He's basically put it through the two like guide tendons on each side of his head. He's put it just under his skull and through his neck.
Through it.
And then he twists it, so he just breaks the head off.
But my question was, like a chicken, like if you cut off a chicken's head, the body kind of runs around for a little while after. I would have thought if you'd severed the head off the Terminator, the body would have kind of twitched and maybe kind of like malfunctioned for a bit, but it doesn't. It
like Ash in Alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how electronics maybe would work.
Done.
Knowing the Terminator as we know him, that may not be enough to stop him.
Exactly.
You just
would
have
the body
head,
not just carry on?
You'd have the head trying to send commands to the body like some crap fucking Dark Shadows type movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. So that puzzled me.
Why'd you always bleat?
Because I'm a sheep. Yeah, and then we get the gay porno moment where he's like looking at him like, "Come on, let's get you out of here." I just really wanted.
Let's get you into something warm and comfortable.
Exactly. And then we see Marcus helping bullshit Bale to his feet. Again, he'd be dead. And then he does the limp, and seeing them walk out with John doing that limp, I don't know why he's limping, I don't know what happened to his leg, it really reminded me of the final scene in Terminator 1 when Sarah helps Carl Reese up onto his feet once they've walked away from like the burning rubble and the
Barney
lorry
Rubble
crashes.
from the Flintstones.
Barney Rubble. I thought that was very reminiscent of that final scene where it's literally exactly the same. Carl Reese is limping, he's under Sarah Connor's shoulder, and she's like helping him into the factory. So I thought that was a little bit of a pastiche, but
I have a cock up for you, Ellie.
Cock up.
When John Connor is carried to the helicopter after the final fight scene, frog in my throat. That wasn't written down, by the way. He is helped to the helicopter and laid right next to the older lady, the leader, Virginia, the soothsayer woman, who then disappears from the subsequent helicopter scenes. Maybe that's where all the money went. She just nicked it in a suitcase and was like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Well, again, this was my question ages ago. Like, why do we keep seeing this bin?
I don't know.
Why is she so integral to this story? Ditch the bitch. Plus, she's an old lady. I'd have thought she'd be long dead.
No, I think it's the filmmakers just going, oh, it's like I said, you know, the Independence Day thing where
this film's for everyone. Even old people can enjoy it.
No, but it's that stupid cop-out film thing where there's no stakes because everyone got out alive. It's like the end of a Scooby-Doo. It's like, you know, Independence Day when that, like I said, that cleansing fire is racing down Broadway and it misses the freaking Labrador because he jumps sideways into a doorway and the fire doesn't turn the corner.
Lucky.
Or in Dante's Peak when they save the dog and they're like, oh, the dog's dead, and then he's there all covered in soot. His lungs.
Wow, you sounded brummy then.
Ah, Jon Snow. Yeah, his lungs aren't burnt from the molten air heated up and the ash in the air. He's fine.
No, that's fine, mate.
He just jumps back in the back of Pierce Brosnan's wagon.
He just lands on its wheels and drives away. Just drives away. Yeah, so I thought that was a bit silly. I was trying to think of all the other different things that Bryce could have whispered or uttered. You know, when she sees him, she goes... I was trying to think of like different funny things that she could have said instead of saying Joe. Like, fuck, he's still alive. Or I don't know. What do you think? What could be added in there? What could she have said?
I have no idea.
And Ethan has drawn a massive blank. You need to eat more cola bottles before you do these shows, Ethan.
I know. I had some jelly beans.
And then the last thing I wanted to say about this particular 2 minutes was the fact that something that you've mentioned in many of the previous episodes, the fact that helicopter is just, you know, it's just waiting there. There's no Terminators around. There's no HKs. There's no one, you know, trying to hinder the whole situation of the humans getting away. And luckily, Bullshit Bale is just taken to safety in his trusty helicopter, which I thought was ridiculous.
His trusty helicopter.
You will have to excuse my busy hands. And they're all the notes that I have. Do you have any more cock-ups?
I don't. Well, this is kind of a cock-up. This is meant to be actually Friday's show, listeners. We only got 4 shows out to you last week. I do apologise. So this is actually Friday's show. So we're going to work all the way up till Saturday to make up. So Monday's show, I guess, will be tomorrow, all the way till Friday, which will be Saturday. Ellie went out on a date apparently with this like hot film nerd artiste. He knows Chris Pine from Star Trek. He knows Rita Ora. He knows all the celebs. How did that go for you, Ellie? What can you explain to the listeners who have bought into this show now for 244 shows why you let them down on Friday?
Well, yes. Friday I had a headache, so I couldn't do a show, and I then promised Ethan that I would do it on Saturday day.
That Friday, by the way, that Friday, I went, oh, bless her. All right, we'll have to disappoint the listeners and they can't have the show. She then went out at midnight and went partying.
Hardly partying. I went to a friend's house. But seeing as Ethan is publicly shaming me now, I then went to London on the Saturday to go meet up with this guy who I thought, you know, it was in the bag. This is happening. You know, he's quite attractive. We seem to have like a lot in common.
What you wanted was in his bag.
The banter had been quite flirty. All the green lights were there throughout the kind of date, I guess. Ended up back at his, and then the moment came where I was basically wearing nothing but a thong. I made my move.
What was his thong like?
I made my move, and he went, "Whoa, whoa, what are you doing? I'm seeing someone. I don't feel comfortable about this. I couldn't cheat on her. Like, if she was fucking someone else, I'd feel pretty bad." And I was like, well, I thought he was joking for like the first 15, 20 minutes, and then I realised that he wasn't, and I tried to get an Uber. I couldn't get a cab. So basically, I was stuck in Ealing Broadway. And then I had a very horrific journey home the next day, and was then made to feel really bad by Ethan, because he was like, "Great, so you missed the show and you didn't even bring a good story home. Well done, you." So yes, I have come back to the show with my tail between my legs, because there's nothing else between my legs.
You have to have faith in that to work on me, Mr. Vincent.
And yeah, so I do apologise, everyone. It was my fault again. But hey, let's just pretend that I was working a shift on an event, because that's how Ethan gets out of the show. So yeah, that's what happened on Saturday.
And on that bombshell, we shall return tomorrow with Monday's show. Thank you all for your loyal support, listeners. If you want to actually follow the show on YouTube, you can, where we actually comment on the clip as it's happening on repeat. So please do, yes, check that out. You'll have a whale of a time. It's all lots and lots of fun. Please subscribe to us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, where you can see more of these clips. You can see the biggest archive of Terminator pictures, from rare production stills to all the toys, to all the cock-ups. There's some amazing stuff on the Facebook page. Please check it out. Please follow us and like us there. And we shall return tomorrow. Over to you, Ellie.
Hasta la vista,
baby.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene.
Shut the fuck up, would you? Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
And I ain't walking on this set if you're still hired.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
I'm fucking serious.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut up if you can't take a joke.
You are trashing my scene. What don't you fucking understand? 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 Oh, fucking shit, you fucking what don't you fucking understand? Oh, fucking shit, you fucking what don't you fucking understand? Oh, fucking shit, you fucking what don't you fucking understand? Oh, fucking shit, you fucking Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally. Fucking ass.